Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Danielle and today we're going to be talking about how does your child see you and any messages from their higher self for you. So yeah, all the piles were a little bit different, but overall I felt like the messages were fairly positive, so don't worry if you're sweating about that. If you've never done a pick a card reading, it's always nice to get a little bit grounded before you choose a pile. So how you can do that is by taking a couple of deep breaths, down through the nose preferably, out through the mouth, creating like a circulatory breath. This just really helps your nervous system relax and can help you drop into your body. So another thing could be is like putting your feet flat on the ground and just like maybe closing your eyes for a second, really feeling into the body, feeling your feet on the floor, feeling your back against a chair or your butt against a seat, wherever you are in the world. And then asking yourself, does one of these piles have a message for me? Opening your eyes and seeing if any of the piles attract your attention. So this could look like the imagery on it is like calling to you. The color, for some reason you just want 1, 2, or 3. There's no real wrong or right reason to choose, or sorry, wrong or right way to choose a pile. And then you can get into the pile and just see if it's making any sense. And then you'll kind of know. Oh, sorry, my cat is playing behind this desk all of a sudden. Okay, so pile 1 is going to be the messages from the Fairies Oracle card deck. Pile 2 is going to be the Magical Mermaids Oracle card deck. And pile 3 is the Energy and Spirits Oracle card. Sorry, my cat is being really noisy. He's like hitting all the wires against the wall and stuff right now. Sorry if you can hear that. Okay, so anyways, I think a cat did sit in every pile. So there's like a cat in every video. Sorry, once again, if that bothers you. But I have 4 cats, so it's probably bound to happen. Okay, anyways, I will see you in your card readings if one of these piles called to you. And if not, don't worry, I'll see you another pick a card sometime. Hello, pile 1. So you chose the messages from the Fairies Oracle card deck. So we're just going to start with looking at some archetype cards to see how does your child see you, and then I'm going to ask for some messages from their higher self on just really whatever needs to come through, something they might want to say, something they might want you to know about you, or they think about you. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So that being said, all in your highest good and love and light, how does your child, pile 1, see you? Steve. Hey, Steve. Okay. We have, excuse me, awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring and trusting. We have rescuer, seeker, messiah, and storyteller. So, excuse me, provides strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. Thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are. Serving humanity with humility. And we have ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Just ignore Steve's yeah, excuse me. Come here, Steve. Come sit on my lap, not on the workspace. Okay. Okay, so anyways, what I find really interesting is I'm getting a pretty strong vibe that they see that you see the world from very open perspective. Like you have a way of like really seeing the things around you. I know that kind of sounds funny, but I think they would say that you're like someone who can just like understand things easily. You understand how like people work, how they think, how they operate. I think you're very good at like quickly understanding the motivations behind people. And I think you really do see people, for better or for worse, if that makes sense. Like, um, the words that stand out is like having consideration for the feelings of others. Um, and I also like, it says honoring trust, but I feel like it talks a lot about trusting yourself, trusting what you feel is true, what you are perceiving. You really trust your intuition, but some of you might not like perceive it as intuition. Some of you might perceive as you really trust your intellect. Because that's the one thing I also get with the third eye sometimes is like we just understand, and sometimes we can chop it up to just being like really good people readers, being really good at reading body language, really good at reading the intonations in people's voices. But anyways, this is how your child sees you. So I see them as seeing you as someone who's quite capable as that. But what also keeps coming through is like you really have like a lot of compassion for the people around you, for humanity is even how I want to say it. And it's interesting because I feel like sometimes it's saying can make you feel like you're a little isolated, you're a little bit alone. So it's interesting. Like I just keep getting like the analogy that you're always throwing people a life raft, but sometimes you need one yourself. Like you need someone to throw you one, and give you some leeway and give you some compassion and some space. But I don't know if this pile always gets that from others. Yeah, okay. Storyteller, ability to express and express life through stories and symbols. Interesting. So I have to say, your child perceives you as someone very cerebral, extremely cerebral. Like I just can't stop seeing like the focus around the head. So I think they recognize you for better or for worse as being someone who is very in their head. So you might consider yourself very logical. You might do a lot of like, um, research or personal expansion. Like you might just really like have a hobby or a knack for listening to like interesting books about just humans and how they work, or how to like be more productive, or how to expand yourself, or um picking up like a random new hobby. I also feel like that. Like the music's really standing out to me too. So some of you might be musicians or singers or just naturally good at learning instruments or something like that. You might just, yeah, I don't know. I get singing though. I get singing pretty strongly. But I think it's just part of you. Like you're like for someone who they like say is like pretty logical and cerebral, I actually think you're very creative. Like you have some creative outlets. um yeah, I don't know why I wanted to say blogging of all things. That is like super random, but I don't know, for some reason when I see this person talking about their life and reading a book, something about blogging keeps coming up. So you might be a blogger or someone who, yeah, just tells like a story about what they've been through really well. Like some people actually have that ability, the charisma to like make a story more exciting and like make people want to hear it. That's how I see this child perceives you. So some of you, your child could be a little bit younger. By a little bit younger, I could even see like being like 12 or something, 12 and younger. Um they don't have to be, but like that's kind of the energy that I'm getting. Like when they like love to hear like you read them a story or tell them a story, and they were just really fascinated by it. For other ones of you, it's like your kid could be older, but they just like truly like think about those times, like where you like told them stories or read them stories or shared like your love and creativity for things. So whatever hobby you're into, you might have like shared it with them, and I feel like they just saw you glowing and they just like really appreciated that, seeing that passion come through you around whatever you were talking about or sharing with them. So seeker, thirst for wisdom and truth wherever they are, and serving humanity with humility. So this is what I was saying. Like I think this comes through very strongly. Like you're like, I'm not sure if you know your child recognizes how hard you work on yourself, or like to discover like, I don't know, I think like just how to be a better person, how to get to know yourself better, how to be more expansive, new evolving ways to like, I don't know, do things. Maybe you're like really into like for example, like AI is really taking off. Maybe you really know about AI stuff. Like I just feel like you're like ahead of the times. I don't want to say with the times. I think you're ahead of the times. Like you're always meant to be someone who's, oh sorry, kind of bumped this camera stand. There you go. You're someone who's meant to constantly be walking a new path, but it seems like it's for your own joy. Like you're an explorer. I'm surprised there's a card in here called Pioneer, and I'm surprised you didn't get that. But Seeker I think resonates more because I think you're like a seeker of knowledge, a seeker of truth, a seeker of like the way things could be. And Pioneer, I don't know. I know what Pioneer sounds more hands-on and Seeker sounds more of the mind. And that, you get so much mind energy. I don't know. It's not a bad thing. Like you're a very smart person. I don't know if you realize that, or I'm sure people still have told you this, like you're a very highly intelligent person. And like it's like that true intelligence. It's not just like a really good IQ for school stuff. Like you got it. You got like that intellect that is curious and like asks why is things this way, and you understand things practically and also logically. Yeah, you're definitely a smart one. I definitely see that. Definitely think your kid sees that too. I mean, it's coming up for how they see you. I also just want to say, I feel like there is a little bit of like another thing coming through here, where sometimes I think you can take too much responsibility of the world. And it's interesting, like your kid sees that. Like they're like, I think like they're like, I know you'll never like intentionally like say shit about people who are struggling. Like that actually comes through very strongly. I wonder if you're like someone who has a habit of giving a lot of support to people. I feel like you help people who feel very uncertain on themselves or very unconfident on themselves. I think you really help build people up, which is awesome for those other people. But I just keep getting like your kids, like sometimes you're too tired for it. Sometimes you need to fill your own boat, to just be in your own boat. And I don't know why it's definitely this card. This boating thing is like coming through strong. For sure. Something about needing to be in your own boat and just like putting down an anchor from time to time and just like taking care of what you need. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys really like boats or boating or something like that, but some solid boat stuff coming through. Overall, okay, yeah, I'm not sure if I really explained this thought, but yeah, I feel like your kid. So this is why for some of you, I feel like your kid is just like a really smart, like young person, like young person being like, yeah, like 10 or 12-year-old, or they're just like a really smart, like young adult is kind of the vibe. I think everyone's kids would be like under 25 if you chose in this pile. Because they still have like quite young energy, but they're also very observant, like super observant. And I definitely think it comes from your genetics. Or if they're not your like blood child, like for sure, just from like being raised by you. Because they have the same energy of intellect that you do, where they're able to really observe people, see people, and there is this like thirst for seeking out what's more out there. But they're like this kid, okay, so this kid feels a little more peaceful. They do feel very is that Gen X? I don't know the generations very well, but maybe shows my generation not really caring about that. But anyways, I get kind of like Gen X vibes, where they're just kind of like, there's a little bit of anxiety from this kid, so maybe this will even help identify if you're like, I'm sure this is my child. They have a little bit of anxiety, But I feel like the anxiety comes from like this like intellect in itself, like having this immense awareness of like their effect on the world, how they interact with the world, and that can give them anxiety. Yeah, so like I feel like your child seeks out peace, how to like find true peace within themselves. But I also think this is their age coming through, because like I said, I feel like they're quite young. So you might even have gone through some extreme anxiety when you were a younger person. And I think you probably went on a bit of a journey to figure out how to manage that. I feel like your child is doing that right now, whatever age they are. But so it's interesting. Your child definitely mirrors a lot of what they see in you, in themselves, and you might even recognize that yourself. So yeah, and this I feel like you just sincerely want to be like a part of society, in the sense of like being of service to it. Like you've recognized that people have helped you, and I think you just like appreciate people. Um, yeah, it's kind of an interesting card though. I think sometimes you felt quite separated from the world. That's what I get from this. You felt quite separated from the world, and sometimes you want to be able to feel a little more part of it, a little more of service to it, which is interesting. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to ask now, is there anything your child's higher self would like you to know or would like to say to you? New career, emotional healing. Goodbye to the old, hello to the new, perfect timing. That, more third eye stuff. And there's a lot of them wanting you to get more grounded. Okay, pregnancy, if you haven't seen a lot of card readings, it always just talks about the creating of something new. It can actually mean like child, if you want a child in your life, but it usually does just mean like big changes, creating something new. But it really is like you are creating something new. That is kind of the difference when a pregnancy card comes through versus like, oh, look at that, we have daughter. So for some of you, this could be a daughter that is coming through that you were inquiring about. Sorry, but I was just hoping to see if I could see a new beginnings card. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. The new beginnings card usually just means like something new is coming in your way, but pregnancy card is kind of like you are creating those changes. You are creating the new things, birthing something new into your life. So this is interesting, especially with the energy of the card is like this person's like very tired, very tired, which kind of tells me that I think they think your child is like recognizing that you've worked really hard to get to the situation you're currently in. Yeah, you've worked really hard to get there. And I think it's actually like, I think in the end it was all worth it, because we have like goodbye to the old. This talks about like better things coming in and perfect timing. Like, although it feels like things aren't quite there yet, everything is about to just kind of line up and get a little bit easier for you. Yeah, but it does talk about like it having been kind of an exhausting process or journey, whatever you've just gone through. It always has me curious, but that doesn't really matter. You know what you went through. And yeah, and it's really interesting. So like there is a lot of pink in this card. So I feel like whatever it was, it's like, I think you were going down a path. And I mean, you being a very cerebral, logical, practical person, I think you were like, all right, this is like the practical thing to do. It's a logical thing to keep doing, but my heart's not in it anymore. And whatever it was, like it took a lot to shift things, to create this new life you're in, this new circumstance. It could be a new career. It could be just like a new living situation. You know what you've been through. I'll just try to make sense. But it's like, this child's like recognizing, seeing that it wasn't like an easy decision for you to make. And it was a little ungrounding, but it was you finally listening to your heart and getting your heart to create the outer reality that you were wanting. So it almost like the analogy that I get whenever I see this kind of color, I'll just clarify where I'm getting this from. It's kind of like a purple, it's kind of like a little bit of red in it. And I always see this color as like when your heart and like your foundational systems, like your structure, um, in this case, they feel like your home life, finally lines up. They're the same. They meet up. They match. So I feel like this is saying like there was like a desire that you had, that you like had to take big actions towards to get it to be part of your reality. Like you brought it into this world. So that's really cool. But it was really depleting. That keeps coming through. It was depleting. It was hard. I think it was even a little bit sad. Like this usually means there was like a little bit of a grieving period. There was like a sadness that came through from it. Yeah. And then get some exercise. I love this. This come from your kid. It's so funny. It seems sassy. Like as your body becomes stronger, you begin to feel stronger in all ways. So you know what? I'm not seeing like go for a run or anything like this. You know what I'm thinking of? And I apologize if this seems insulting in any ways. But what comes to my mind is all the statistics about like, like for example, like I'm a rock climber and there's a lot of like exercises you're supposed to do to make sure your body doesn't get like what's that called, imbalances, like muscular imbalances, which then can cause like other problems in your body, like bad posture, super common amongst rock climbers. We all like hunch over. We have to like exercise the opposing muscles that we're using. And I'm getting things like that. Like when I say get some exercise, I feel like they're like saying like do like your Pilates exercises. Do those like if you were told by a physio or massage therapist, like if you work at a desk, you sit down a lot, and you were told by a professional that there is some exercises you should do for your long-term success so that your hips aren't so tight, is kind of what I keep thinking, or your back isn't sore, or your neck isn't stiff. Like it's like do those exercises, they actually will help. This is really fun, and this is the sassiest message I think we're gonna get here, but I just keep thinking of that. I don't think you need to go for a run. I think they're saying get on top of those annoying little habits that actually are gonna make a difference for you. And I keep thinking tight hips, so I mean I'm just gonna point that out because it's coming through. Anyways, so new career. This is awesome because your work focus is shifting in a positive, new, and successful direction. Yeah, I'm gonna actually pull another card. Like, is this clarifying your career? Healing Field Healer. Yeah. Okay. I don't feel like you are actually physically changing complete jobs. I feel like your attitude about work is changing. And if you're someone who's been like struggling with your attitude at work, I feel like they're saying like that's starting to clear out. You're kind of starting to feel and see some changes there. Cause like all this is, I just keeping you're gonna feel more empowered. Like you're like, like sometimes you can feel like a slave to the job. I feel like you're getting out of that. Like this person feels in control. Yeah, I don't know. They're making the decisions. I just keep getting that. They're making the decisions. They're navigating where they go. They're more in control about where things go at work or what's going on at work. I hope this makes sense, the language that I'm using, because I'm just like, I know it's weird, specific, but I'm so drawn to like focusing the light and then it going into another direction. Anyways, yeah, and this just tells me too, like it's felt maybe a little bit chaotic, like really stressful, but something's changing. I think you just really start to find your perspective, like a perspective shift, and you're really starting to find your role. Like, why are you so good at your job? And like embracing that, something like that. Oh, there's a cut in that card. Bummer. Yeah. Yeah. I just keep seeing how you're the gift, how you can be like of service in that role, if that makes sense. But definitely I keep getting more empowered. So some of you might be getting raises, some of you might be in a position of authority in a different way than you have been, something like that. Maybe some of you have been wanting like to be able to work more remote or something. Like I just feel like it's more on your own time, like when you choose. Emotional healing. As your heart heals of old emotional pain, you receive new blessings and love. That's awesome. This talks about all your chakras getting balanced. Very interesting. Um, I'm like, okay, not this is guidance. I feel like once again, this is talking about getting grounded. Getting grounded. So once again, I'm like, when I'm not getting a huge message from this, I feel like there was just some old routines that you might have that you did to feel more grounded, to feel more mentally clear. I would say maybe like a 5-minute guided meditation or something like that, or a 10-minute meditation, or maybe it was like you did like a daily morning walk when the sun rose or sunset, and that like always made you feel like really present. It's talking about falling back to some old healthy routines that really did make you feel grounded and present. Grounded and present is the word we're looking for. If they didn't make you feel that, then it's not those routines that they're suggesting you get back into. But if you notice, they kind of are the similar color as these like get some exercise cards. So it's telling me that you had like some healthy habits built up, and I think there might just have been like some things that happened that kind of threw you off. And I think it could have been like this tired period, changing some big changes, I should say, because this is not a small change card, it's big change card. So I just feel like there's things like that. And then I want to point out over here, goodbye to the old, hello to the new. Like the lotus flower is like infamous for meaning like growing through the tough times and coming out stronger, coming out more clear and beautiful. And yeah, and I just love that it's like this person's coming out of it. She's taking a second, if you like to take a seat. Maybe she's a little dizzy after all those changes, but she's starting to feel better, and she's gonna get up and about on her way. But I think I get that. Like, I think this is like even acknowledging like you went through a lot recently. Whatever you went through was a huge change. It was hard. And you're just taking the time to rest and catch up a little, and that's okay. When you're ready to start getting after the next thing, that's when it will happen. So I keep thinking like maybe you're a bit hard on yourself, and you're like, oh, I should be doing this already, or I should be here already, or I should have this in my life by now, or something. Like I feel like this pile can kind of put themselves on like a list of things they should have accomplished or something like that, or like goals that you should have had done by now. And I just keep getting that they're like, look, like, dude, you've gone through a lot. Like you're just taking a little breather. You just basically got rebirthed and you're a little dizzy, and you're gonna get up and going as soon as you're good and ready. As soon as you're good and ready and rested up, you know? Yeah, it makes me think of sport analogies. Like, every now and then, like, people have to go on the bench and it's fine. It doesn't mean they suck at what they're doing. It just means they, like, need to take a break, and they're gonna be rested and ready when they get back on the field or ice or whatever sport we're talking about. Anyways, yeah. Okay, let's just see if there's anything else they'd like you to know. Oh, yawn. I would say clear your energy, but I'm not sure if this pile believes in that. I would say a little chakra rebalancing, but yeah, maybe you don't believe in that. Oh, marriage. The fairies join you in a celebrated wedded bliss. That's cute. Let's ask for a clarifying card. Hello, Steve. You're back. Express your individuality. Okay. And let go. So, Steve, can you? All right. Come here, buddy. You just want to cuddle. Okay. Sorry. So, interesting. So for some of you, it could have been like a marriage that ended, especially like with this, like, I don't know, pregnancy card. And okay, so I'm gonna try not to be biased here, but I'm just like with express your individuality, I feel like it's like, and like let go. Like if you look at saying like if it was like a marriage or relationship that ended, or maybe even like a long time business partnership that ended. It's just, I feel like your kid's like, look, I get why you did it. It's time for you to go be you. Anytime you get to express your individuality, it's like usually when someone can recognize that you weren't fully able to be yourself. You weren't fully being yourself. Whether that was because you were exhausted, you had a lot of responsibility, you felt not accepted for who you are, whatever the reason was, it's like the fact that you couldn't express exactly who you are, exactly as it is, that was the problem, I think. That was the problem. So I just feel like they're saying, like, let it go. It's okay. It's okay. You go be you, and it's beautiful and cool. Super cool. Is that a dog in the bottom of this card? Maybe go take your dog and go for a really cool walk all dressed up. I don't know what I'm saying now. I'm getting to the end of this reading and I feel like I'm just not making sense. Okay, well, anyways, this is all I had for you. Hopefully this made sense in some way. I felt like I kept alluding to details that I didn't even know, so hopefully that made sense for you. I appreciate you making it to the end of this reading. And if you enjoyed this, I always do appreciate if you leave a like or a comment, as it just helps like this specific video get more views. If you like the channel, you can subscribe and that helps the whole channel. If you'd like to support me, I now have a YouTube membership where we are going to be doing a free members only video a month and then an extended a month for members, and then you have access for all the past videos if you're interested in that. And if not, that's cool. I'll maybe catch you in another video sometime. Bye. Hello, Pile 2s. So you chose the Magical Mermaids deck. We're going to start with just looking at some archetype cards to see how your child sees you. Yeah, and then we'll look at any messages from their higher self that they have for you. So that might be something they want you to know, guidance for you, something you just want to say to you. You know, yeah, I think Steve's going to be in all these readings today. It's seeming that way. He's just wanting a lot of pets. You know, a lot of cuddles. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways. Let's see. What do you need? How does your child see you, Pile 2? All in love and light and for your highest good. How do they see you? Okay. Steve, I think we're gonna have to move you. Yeah. I know, you're so cute. Okay, so you have Don Juan, Mediator, Destroyer, and Networker and Visionary. Okay, and I should always say, like, all these cards have a positive and a negative attribute. And we're just looking at positive attributes today. That was my intention. So we have spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. Honestly, when I pulled that, I was like, someone who just sees you as very beautiful. That's how I saw it. Someone who's very, very classically beautiful is even what I got. And then we have gifts for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. Very cool. Releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for a new life, enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy, and visionary, capacity to envision what is not yet conceived to others. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. This is maybe a little bit too specific, but I kind of have a vibe that if you're watching this, you might have been someone who has, I don't know if it would have been like typical like sort of addiction. It could have been like at some point in your life, maybe you had like, it could have been like maybe you're like really addicted to coffee or like Starbucks is kind of what I was thinking for some reason. or it could have been alcohol or something like that at some point. But what I see here is like this person like recognizes that whatever you set your mind to, it won't like hold you back anymore, that you overcome anything that has any power over you, which is really quite cool actually. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like this kid has seen you struggle through letting go of something. For some of you, it could even been like a pattern that you had with maybe like your parents, like maybe your parents wouldn't treat you well or would put you down or something like that, and you chose to stop interacting with them or having them in your life or having them in your child's life or something like that. There's something here where it's like they see that nothing, like soon as you realize something isn't healthy for you, you're working on letting it go. Yeah. And how this child sees it is like you even if you know it's going to be hard, you still do it. And that's like, I think it's kind of like mind-blowing to them, because I think they can understand in their own life brief experience that like if they have an attachment to something, it's really hard to let it go. And I find like what I'm seeing come through for them is just like this is like that awe that you create in them. They don't quite understand how you are so strong, that you can just, I want to say detach is the word I get, detach yourself from things that are bad for you, that end up actually being very bad for you, that aren't great for you. I'm also thinking maybe just relationships in general. So maybe you had like a big friend breakup, or maybe you even divorced a partner or broke up with a partner and this person saw it. But I get just like admiration, and just like what I keep getting from like this child though is like they just go, I couldn't have done it. Like it was like, I just know how hard that would have been, and I couldn't have done it. Like even if I would have suffered for the rest of my life, I couldn't have done what my parent did. Like that's just what I keep getting. So there is like a lot of, I don't quite have the right word. It's not like impress. Like it's kind of like inspiration, but it's just like it feels like I just get so sucked into their like emotion of like, I don't know how you did it. Like I could never. So anyways, mediator. You know what? I think you have more than one kid. That's also what I get. You either have more than one kid or you have multiple siblings. And I think either way, you're always the calm one. Like, definitely. Like, if your whole family is like arguing or like irritated or had a long day, and you know how like sometimes you just like see people who just like verbally take it out on their environment when they're frustrated, and they kind of like, it's kind of like sometimes there can be like those low blows where someone says something and it's just kind of like hitting something that's very vulnerable, and the person like in the moment kind of meant it, but as soon as it's said they kind of regret it, or in hindsight later they regret it. I just get like, you're always the person when those situations happen that you're just like, hey, like, you just see past it. You see past it. You stay calm and collected. You ask more questions. You're a really good communicator. A very good communicator. I think it's just because you can really see what's at the heart of the matter, like what's really going on with people, like why are they actually acting out that way. And I think even if this is your child and sometimes they've given you some sass, they can acknowledge that they appreciate the fact that you aren't taking it personally. Like, you know how sometimes when people are really hurting, they'll try to push other people away, and sometimes it can be through saying really hurtful things. I think sometimes whether it's this kid or another kid of yours, I think one of them does that sometimes, and they're just really saying like they really acknowledge and appreciate that you stay calm and you don't take it personally. You just go, hey, okay, I understand you're really struggling right now. Like it's just like, once again, this person's like, I don't know how you are the way they are. Like this kid might even have you a bit on a pedestal, if I'm being honest. Because they only see you as like this like powerhouse strong person who's beautiful, who doesn't let anything stop them, who can always stay calm even in the hardest situations. We also have networker, which just tells me, I think like you just have like this ability to put yourself out there, and like when you need to get something done, you always find a way. That's what I keep getting from this. Like say you need to like rent a space, but your budget's really low, and maybe it's to rent a space for a birthday party. Like somehow you find a way to make it happen. This kid sees you as like a miracle worker. Essentially, like there's no problem that you won't find a solution to, that you won't be able to figure out. And I even think they're saying like, I think this all comes from your ability to just like believe it will happen, believe there's always a way. If there's a will, there's a way, I think is something you might say. And I think this is you, someone super intuitive. Like you just follow your instincts, and if you get a gut feeling, you go for it. And I think they even realize that this might even be how you like pull off things that don't seem possible. Like you find solutions to things that don't seem possible. Yeah, I definitely keep getting that. Yeah, I just get this one so hard is like, just believing in yourself and believing everything's gonna be okay. I think you have a lot of faith in the universe supports you and has your back, and everything's happening to serve you. Like there's definitely a lot of like that coming through, at least from your kids' perspective, because they just like they see you as someone who never doubts themselves. So once again, I'm gonna say I think this kid has has you a bit on a pedestal, which can even be hard as a parent, because I think it's just like, you know, you're just a human and sometimes you make mistakes, and in this kid's eyes, like you just never do. You just never do. I think they're gonna strive their whole life to like be as good as you. It's kind of how I feel like this kid coming through. And I don't know if that gives some clarity even on like these weird conflicts you might have with them sometimes, is they feel like because they have you on a pedestal, they feel like they need to match up to you sometimes or live up to you, but actually this is not a you thing. This is a child, like the child's thing. Yeah, okay. Anything that you need to know? Yes. Positive energy. Okay. What do they need to know? What do you want them to know? Protection, divine magic. Ready, set, go. Okay. So there's a lot around communication here. Okay, I was just like clarifying card for positive energy, empowerment. Yeah. Putting the spotlight on something. You know what? I kind of feel like this pile, you might have been asking about like how can you foster like a deeper relationship with your child or something like that, or support them, because I just keep getting like, you just keep showing up as you are. Like that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it, because I kind of get like this weight. I feel like I see like a sassy kid, teenage kid, sitting on like literally a couch and just doing that face that kids do where they're like, I don't know, I don't care, or like say things like that, and they make this face and you're just like, ugh. Like if you knew how bad that face looked, you wouldn't ever make it again. But it's just a face that teenagers make sometimes when they're going through this cycle of being fearful of judgment, not being good enough, not meeting expectation of people around them. And I think that's kind of what your kid's going through right now. But everything I'm seeing here is like, I actually see like just needing like to be held more, but in a way that they'll allow, which is tricky because I think they wouldn't straight up let you just like hold them like that. That's kind of what they're needing. Like just to like be told it's okay. There isn't all this pressure for them to be all these things. Like all these things that they see you are. And I think it's tricky because I don't think you see yourself this way. This is definitely like your child projecting on you how they see you, which like once again creates this weird pedestal energy that they feel they have to live up to. So I just keep, when I see divine magic, I feel like it's like you are naturally just such a loving, amazing person. And I think if you just keep showing up as you are and reminding them that they are just wonderful as they are, eventually I just feel like the shifts will happen. I also feel like they're gonna start reaching out to you more. I wonder if that's like something you've been wanting. Like, I wonder if you've been getting a lot of this like sassy shutdown energy. It's been really like frustrating for you, I would imagine. I didn't actually pull any cards for how you're feeling, but I would think you would be feeling really exhausted and really like bummed. But when I see positive energy, empowerment, and ready, set, go, I just feel like it's saying like things are gonna shift. This is just a phase. It is just a phase. And it's kind of like their egos struggling to meet up to the amazingness they perceive you to be. And I'm only saying perceiving you to be because they're not perceiving you as a human being. They're perceiving you as like someone who's without flaws, which is, no one is without flaws. It's not a fair thing to put anyone on a pedestal, because then it's just, I don't know, it's just not fair to anyone to be put on that. So yeah. What I get is like as they like find more of themselves and they see more of their beauty and who they are, like I just think things are gonna get easier. Easier and easier and easier with them, because you know what? A good analogy here, it's almost like instead of like letting like their like defenses kind of go wild, they're gonna start actually trying to befriend them and like get clarity on why they are shutting down when they're talking to you. Why are they shutting down and being kind of mean when interacting with you? I think they themselves aren't even really sure why they're being this way to you, but I think they're slowly gonna get more clarity. Actually, speaking of couches, so this is once again going to be kind of a specific message. Just ditch it if it doesn't make sense. But some of you might have tried to get your child into like therapy, counseling, or some kind of like third party support. And I wonder if it after a while that's going to be the thing that's going to be changing it. Is like, I just feel like the killer whale, I see that as their defenses, befriending their defenses, and instead of being on attack, using their defenses to like figure out why they're being defensive, like giving it a new job. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel overall like things are going to get a little bit lighter. Whatever it is that they're like their intense energy, I feel like is going to start being focused elsewhere. Okay, let's just see. Anything else you need to know? Anything else they want you to know? Playtime. Yeah, dolphins know the importance of playing as joy creates miracles and manifestation. Yeah, I really get that they like, although they might resist you, they do just want to like hang out and be lighthearted and laugh and linger and like, yeah, I don't know. That's what I get. Synchronicities. Okay, let's pull another card for this. Watch your thoughts. Okay, so we have synchronicities. Your prayers and questions are being answered by synchronistic events. Notice them in order to increase their flow. And then here it says it's important to only think about what you desire, not what you fear. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm getting from this, watch your thoughts. So I can see how like maybe sometimes how maybe your kids or kid is treating you can get you like feeling a little like hopeless. Like, oh my gosh, like it's gonna be like this forever, or like they're not very kind, or like it's just saying like the downward spiral you can go in. Just I know as hard as it is to say, it's not gonna last forever. This is like just like a weird phase that I think is gonna start going away eventually here. Yeah, definitely. And I would even wonder, so sometimes like a lot of times kids have the same limiting beliefs as their parents. So I wonder if like the child of yours feels like they can't live up to the expectations of the world, that they see you as so perfect and they just feel like they have to be perfect, but they feel unperfect. I wonder if you've also struggled with that in your life, like feeling like you need to always be calm under the storm. I could almost like, I'm getting like the picture of like having to bring like the healthiest, best cookies to school, like always having the best baked goods, or showing up for all the volunteer activities, or always having a smile on your face. Like, always having to be in control, always having to be the peacekeeper, always having to be the responsible one. And I wonder if some things here are coming up to say, like, you deserve to have time to just play and be accepted for who you are and just be whatever you are and whoever you are without all these expectations and pressures as well. And even by doing that, I wonder if that will even help your child start to go easier on themselves, because they're like, you're not perfect. They're gonna start seeing that you're not perfect, and that's okay. That's human. But yeah, we also have you're being helped. So yeah, I feel like you're just probably feeling pretty tired here with all of this. I can see it being tiring. I could definitely see it being tiring. Especially since I keep getting teenager energy. But I heard kids grow up faster these days, in the sense that like 16-year-old attitudes are now in 12-year-olds. So I'm sorry if that's the case. But it also might mean that they're more like they're 20 when they're 16. So that could be good. But just, yeah. I just hope you know it's not going to be forever. This is just a passing phase. I really feel like you need to hear that. Okay. I feel like I want to pull one more card for like any encouragement for you right now. Self-employment. You're a born entrepreneur and your business is surrounded by magical opportunities. And have faith. And anything else? Break free. Okay. Try different ventures and experiences as a way to grow and learn. And your prayers are manifesting. Remain positive and follow your guidance. Yeah, you're a natural born entrepreneur and your business is surrounded by magical opportunities. So I feel like this is just like other stress going on in your life right now. So you might just need to hear this. Just because I feel like the energy of this pile would be someone who's just like drained and like, I need a break, which is break free. I need a break from all that is going on. Okay, well, that pile twos, this is where I'm gonna leave it. I hope that brought some clarity, some insight, or something for you. And I'm just wishing you the best. If you like this video, you can leave a like or a comment. It helps this video get more views. If you like the channel, you can subscribe and it helps the whole channel. If you are interested in more readings, I do have a way for you to support me by either becoming a YouTube member and getting access to all the old YouTube members only videos and extendeds, or you can always book a one-on-one session with me. Anyways, I will hopefully catch you around, and best of luck. Hello, pile threes. So you chose the Energy and Spirit Oracle cards. We are going to start with just pulling some archetype cards to see how does your child see you, and then we'll use this other deck here to see any messages, anything that they want to know, all from their higher self. So that being said, let's get started here. All in the line for your highest good as always. How does your child see you, pile threes? Okay. Came out very differently than the other piles have. Okay. Sorry, my cat Millie has been getting chased around by her brothers all morning, so she's just like taking refuge. Don't really want to boot her off because she's been a little bit grumpy that she's been getting chased around so much, which is, really understandable. Nobody likes being chased around by little brothers. So yeah, right back there. Okay, come on, girl. Come on. All right. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe she stays. So we have addict, liberator, bully, martyr, fool, and alchemist, and we are just choosing to only look at the light attributes. So if some of these names seem kind of negative to you, actually everything has like a light attribute and a shadow attribute. And a lot of these times, like sometimes when you see things like fool or bully or things like that, the light attributes are actually talking about like having like learnt like a really empowering or powerful revelation or lesson from experiences in your life. So how your child sees you Um, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause, fearlessly revealing emotions, helping people laugh at absurdity, transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. So already right here, I kind of get like just from the bottom thing, I feel like your child sees you sort of as I don't I want to say service worker, but like how I mean that is like someone who like helps other people. Um Not take themselves so seriously would be a good way to say it. Process or work through their emotions or emotional baggage. Because like the thing that really stands out to me with the Fool is like helping others like kind of see the humor in their situations or like the humor in their actions. Like I just keep thinking of someone who might be like a counselor, someone who kind of might be known as like their friend's therapist, even though maybe you're not a therapist, but like that might be like the running joke is like um you're always like therapying people. I feel like this is something this pile would hear a lot. Like you're always making your friends feel a little bit better. Oh, there she goes. Yeah, I just keep getting that. And I feel like you have like good like mom insight vibes. You don't have to be a mom, but like that's the vibe I get. Like like when moms just have like golden nuggets of wisdom and like really like clear thoughts and epiphanies. Like you create epiphanies for others because you have like a way with your words. That's the vibe that I'm getting with this. You could be, I mean, you could be masculine or feminine, but I am getting like that's like the imagery I'm getting is like when a mom's having a heart to heart with their kid and it's just like really like hitting and giving some clarity. Epiphanies is the word I had come to mind. So yeah, I think you help like especially with like the alchemist, like I just think you help a lot of people, and specifically if this is how your child sees you. Either they feel this way about you or they can see that you do this for other people or both. Um you help people kind of like I feel like this like look there's like all this air in this jar here and then you kind of help people pour it out and process it and it turns to like golden nuggets of wisdom. um so you might even be someone who's like really good at like helping people see like the positives of certain attributes or situations. So say for example someone has a problem at school and you're like really able to help them see how it's actually to their benefit that this issue is coming up. Like you help them be like, well, how is this serving you? How is this helping you grow? How is this helping you get clarity about like the what kind of person this is, or like I don't know, like I keep getting like that you really help like bad situations look like good ones, and that you help like negative attributes or characteristics about people look like better ones. Like another thing I could see too is like if your child struggles at school or something like that, that maybe you like say something and it helps them start to see like the positive in it. Like I don't know, this is kind of specific, but like say if your child has like ADHD or something like that, or something where they just have a hard time focusing, and I feel like you could point out to them that like going to school and versus like getting homeschooled would be a very great way for them to kind of get um like accustomed to how the world works and learning how to communicate with people who don't understand their way of thinking or their way of processing things. And just like I feel like you just have like a really great way of being like, hey, like look, this sucks. Let's see what we can do to help support you. But this is going to be such an amazing way for you to figure out how to work like in the workforce future, because this is the kind of people you're going to have to interact with. This is how they think. So you learning now helps you figure out how to connect with the rest of the world, how to be a part of the world. Like I don't know if that makes sense, but I just see like that would be like a situation where you're like you're really able to like once again point out why this is their benefit. And I do think this is with your child, and I also think this is just with other people. I have to keep saying that. Yeah, making things seem like gold. Okay. We also have helps you recognize and confront addictive behaviors. Freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns, highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. Okay, yeah. So you know what? I really do feel like this. If you chose this pile, you might have a child who is struggling in social situations or with school, because everything here is like really talking about like you helping them overcome a problem. This card, like, I feel like this is like them talking about how they've been like pushing against something or resisting something. So like this kind of feels like overwhelm, social anxiety. I just feel like fear of not fitting in, because once again, like these swirls are like the same swirls in this jar, this alchemy jar, and I just feel like it's saying like they really struggle with something and they're like, I just wanted to stop, I want to run away from this, I don't like it. But then you come in and like the interesting thing with bully, and I am kind of thinking a little bit like maybe because like maybe your child is a little bit different from other kids, whether it's just because they are like highly intelligent and think differently, they might think very practically, they might just have some sort of neurodivergence. That's kind of what I get. Like I feel like they're very, very smart. Whoever kid this is, like they just like, especially with like this is a lot of third eye, so I think you're helping them see a different perspective on what they've been going through. But also there is like this like ability of them to be able to see things differently than other kids, which is what I think keeps coming up. So you're like, it's just so fascinating that like, I'll be curious to see what comes up for messages for you. But it's just so fascinating to me that your child basically sees you as someone who is shifting their perspective on things. And I think you do it through support, and you do it through like I feel like you explain to them why this is important, why it's important for them to like work through this, see through this. And I just like, I do wonder if they are being bullied, but I think you would know. Like if this is not something you already know about, then don't take that as like a thing that's for sure happening. They could even just be bullying themselves if they're not getting like bullied at school. They could just like be really hard on themselves for being different, for not understanding things, for having a hard time focusing. It could see that too. So you take that as it makes sense. It could also be both. It could be getting kind of, I would see this more as like being teased verbally by other kids, because like I said, I just feel like this child thinks very differently. Very, very differently. Yeah, but I do keep getting, and I think you've said this to them, like that the world is full of the kind of people they're meeting in school or something like that, and like this is really going to help them learn how to navigate people like this in the real world. You know what, my roommate is neurodivergent, and she is on like the autism spectrum. So she has mentioned a few times that like going to drama class in school was really, really helpful for her, because she finally understood how people interacted, because they dissected it. They dissected how to express yourself in different ways, how to show and convey different emotions, and how other people conveyed and showed different emotions. And she like constantly says to me like that was the game changer for her, was like having someone give her a formula to understand how to interact with other people in life, because she felt like when she was really young she just didn't get it, but in high school and drama class she's like, I finally got it. It finally made sense to me. I felt like I knew the formula. So I don't know why I'm thinking about that like drama class vibes, but I feel like her situation is a little bit different than this pile. Like I feel like I get that your child is like a why kid. Like, why do we do it this way? Why is this like, this is just doesn't make sense. Why are we treating other people like this? Why? Like they just seem like so highly intelligent to me. They just don't understand. Like I think they don't quite understand why other peers are so influenced by peer pressure. Things like that. Why do other kids bully kids? Like why are people treating people like that? That's, I don't know. I just keep getting that. Sorry. So I keep repeating myself. So let's pull some different cards here. Yeah. Sorry, I should also say there is some like need to get a little more grounded for them. So you're helping them get like a different perspective on things and looking at it differently as how it can be to their advantage, and they see that. But there is a need for them to get a little more grounded in themselves and trusting themselves more, that they can handle it, that they got this, that they're strong. So I keep getting that like they might need more tools, some emotional tools, how to navigate stressful situations or stressful social situations, or if they are that kid who's bullying themselves, like internally, some tools around that, how to like get themselves out of that habit. But for some reason, I feel like you actually have a lot of these skills. So you might have worked on this yourself personally. You might be in a role or career, or you might just be naturally good at how to help people with these kind of skill sets. So I keep getting that. And a little bit of heart chakra coming through. I think it's about loving themselves a bit more and recognizing that there's nothing wrong with them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to what they want you to know. So that being said, anything your child's higher self would like you to know right now, all in line for your highest good. Okay. Ascended Masters. Okay. Specific intentions, sensitivity and strength, abundant success. Moving on, letting go. Many choices. How about gratitude? Okay, so there is a lot here about trusting your instincts, and trusting that you'll know as things come up what's going on. Like it's just saying like intuitively. Like I keep getting like mother's intuition, or like maybe even like I don't know. I don't feel like I hear dads talk about it as much, like father's intuition, but there's a lot of feminine energy coming through. So I feel like you might just be perceived as very nurturing from your child, or you actually are a mom. One of the two, because it's just very strongly a lot of feminine energy. Which is kind of a beautiful thing to see from a child, because like it says, it just feels very nurturing and supportive. Yeah. Okay. So let me clarify the moving on card. Sorry about my stand. Achievement. Okay. So yeah, I feel like there's something you've been trying to work on with them, and there is like confirmations that things are shifting. So if you're like the parent and you have been working on getting them out of like bullying situations or being really hard on themselves, maybe they were struggling with like, I don't know if I'd call it depression or like self-hatred or something like that, but I feel like I see them saying like things are getting better. I sense that they feel that you're very worried for them. Definitely. They're very aware of that. At least their higher selves are. Yeah, I think, yeah. They recognize that you get pretty worried. Many choices and uncertainty. So I do feel like there is a few different paths that can be taken on whatever you're deciding to do. Maybe you're trying to figure out if you should change schools for them, put them in a different type of program, maybe put them in a more supportive program. Yeah. And I just keep getting, it's like follow your intuition. Follow your intuition, learning a new path. Yeah, I feel like they're saying like this is going to be something new. You're going to kind of figure it out as it goes. And I know this isn't always the answer that people like, but it's like really just follow what you're feeling is going to be best in the situation. As each step comes, follow the intuition, not the fear, but the intuition. So I feel like this pile would know the difference between fear. It's like all those little voices coming up and talking about worst case scenario, versus when you just take a few deep breaths and you're like, what I feel like in my body is the right decision for them. And it's not mental. It's like comes from the heart, if that makes sense. And I just keep feeling like it's just going to be one step at a time. Because I even feel like your child is going to like choose certain paths as they come along. So, it's tricky when you're a parent, because your child has free will and they're choosing to change and grow as you also change and grow. So I feel like that's why it keeps coming up. It's important just to follow your intuition one step at a time. But I do keep getting like things are changing. There is some shifts happening. We even have success over here. So I do feel like you've been working on something with them. I just keep getting that. You've been working on something with them. And I think you're learning how to honor sensitivity and their strengths. So, and maybe even teaching them that. That's what I feel like. Because you also I feel like this child might take after you more than maybe you realize. Like maybe you're someone who considers yourself like very sensitive, but also very strong. And then when I see like Ascended Masters, I actually see this as kind of like a leadership card. So like, the words that are standing out to me is like specific intentions. So like, intentionally working towards something. So this could be like something with their value of self or how they perceive themselves. Yeah. helping them, once again, I keep getting the words tools, helping them build their tools on, I think these are all like internal tools, like how they feel about themselves, how they see themselves, what to do. I keep getting that, what to do when they're feeling emotionally flooded. Yeah, like I think you're basically teaching this child emotional intelligence is kind of what I'm getting. And I think you're just guiding them. You're guiding them just how to navigate that. But it is really important that it's saying like that they learn their own autonomy around it. So like you're not doing it for them, you're teaching them how to do it, if that makes sense. Yeah, let's see, social appreciation. Yeah, okay, definitely just get, like, if any of you right now are, like, questioning if you're, like, a good parent or, like, if you're even doing a good job, I do just feel like they're just coming through a little bit here to be like, yo, like, no, like, I chose you. You're exactly the parent I wanted to have in my life. You are teaching me things, and you are, like, there's so much about, like, their value, teaching them, learning about their true value. And they're learning it, like they're just learning it. And it's like, it's okay, don't beat yourself up. Like, you know, every child, I feel like, struggles with feeling accepted for who they are in life, feeling like they're enough just as they are. I think, like, there's a lot of things I kind of call the human disease, and a lot of it is around the solar plexus belief systems, like our inner child wounding, not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving, not feeling lovable. All of us humans have that kind of wounding in some way. And I think you're actually, like, what is amazing, let me just restart that. What is amazing is I believe you are actually helping this child start to address that while they're still in childhood, which is amazing. Because a lot of us don't figure that out until we're older, until we're young adults or full-on adults, or, you know, like grandparents. Like, it is a life journey and there is different, like, phases to it, but I really believe you're already starting to start this healing of this wounding. It's really amazing. Sorry, just had to quickly change my battery there as it started dying. And Steve here jumped up. You know what though? I think we are kind of getting to the end of this. I just, like, I know sometimes people can want specific examples. But sorry, that's so funny. I just, like, pulled randomly the card, like, follow your intuition. So yeah, I feel like the right answer is you just keep following your intuition, because what they're really needing from you is just, like, loving presence, support, and like I said, like, you are teaching them how to, look at that, stay balanced, centered, learn how to be strong in themselves. And it's honestly amazing, because most kids won't learn this until, like, they are older. So you're crushing it. Okay, Steve, your tail, Steve. What is going on? Okay, I do kind of want to just pull some other random cards for you. I don't know why. I didn't do this in any of the other piles, but we're gonna do it for you. So just anything you need to know right now, anything you can do for yourself, my pile 3 viewers, to support yourself. Okay. The universe rewards motion. What guided action can you take today? And this card always talks about following the heart. It's very pink based, so it's like not like taking action in the sense of, like, I know I need to do this and that and that, and it's, like, overwhelming. It's like, what do you just need to do? What is your heart asking of you today? I also have turn your worry into wonder, surrender to the experience. And you are the truth seeker, awakening, actualizing, transcending. How can you invite more grace to guide you? So I just wonder, and I mean, this is going to be a little bit biased, but I wonder if you've been pretty hard on yourself as a parent. I wonder if you're really, like, beating yourself up right now and just, like, feeling like you should do more. I think, you know, anytime, like, someone we love, let alone your own child, is struggling with something, it can be very, very hard to witness that and not want to be able to fix it, take it away, take the pain away, take the struggle away. But I really feel like this is, like, for your child to experience, because I keep learning, like, this is truly how they grow into someone who, like, has the skills and the tools to to basically regulate themselves once they get dysregulated. That's essentially what you're teaching them. How to get out of dysregulation into regulation, and how to do it at such a young age will help them become like quite a regulated adult, is kind of what I keep thinking. They're going to be able to do it quickly for themselves because they're building this habit while they're younger. Okay. Anything else just to summarize what I think we need to hear? Take responsibility for your life as a creative adventure. How can you live with more meaning, integrity, and truth? So, this is a very interesting card. 33 usually talks all about support systems. So, I'm kind of wondering if this is like, how are you, like, okay, once again, are you making sure you're taking care of yourself? Or have you kind of gotten like stuck in this place where you are like, kind of really in the mind, like worrying. And I don't know why I'm kind of getting like, maybe just like take a deep breath, breathe. And if you have like a meditational practice that grounds you, you're not trying to fix anything about yourself. You're just trying to ground yourself. I feel like that might be really helpful for this pile right now, because I feel like it's feeling like you're feeling very ungrounded from being so in the head, being in so much worry, that you could just use some support yourself by being a little more in your body. So I am feeling like maybe, I don't know if this pal likes gardening or likes sitting by a plant in their house or something like that, or if you got like flowers in a backyard somewhere. But I'm just like, maybe just like even like taking a second to sit beside them or touch some dirt and just like remember that the weight of the world isn't for you to carry. Yeah, getting a little more in your body, because I feel like the mind has been very active. Okay, this is all I have for you, I think. I'm like, is it? Yeah, okay, look at that. We also have nature spirits. So yeah, I do feel like sometimes if we're really, really stuck in the head, just being in like a lot of nature, like around moss and trees, can be grounding. It could be the grounding we're needing. So anyways, this is actually all I have for you, Pile 3s. I hope this was helpful in some way for you. Yeah, I hope it maybe brought some confirmations. And I would just say, yeah, try to go get grounded. I think things are going to feel a lot clearer if you have a second to just get a little more rooted in yourself and out of the mind. Out of the mind. Do something relaxing and that feels connecting to you, because you've really been worrying a lot. You've been worrying a lot, and it makes it really hard to hear your intuition, to really like trust yourself, because there's, yeah, just a lot going on there. So anyways, I'm gonna let you go here. I will maybe catch you in another pick a card reading, and I just wish you the best with the situation.